Now, earlier you testified that you thought Joe was a great writer, correct?
I did.
And it's true he writes mystery stories and detective books?
He writes the best mystery and detective books I've ever read.
So most of them probably about like cops and robbers, people trying to get out of crimes, things of that nature? Would that be a safe statement?
Well, I actually think the way I read his books is it's more about these people who commit these great crimes always end up coming to justice. It's the point of his stories is the search for justice in the end.
Now, in any of these stories, though, do the criminals fabricate alibis?
I'm sure.
Is that a leading question? So I kind of missed it if it was.
Said in his stories, do the characters fabricate alibis?
Right. Is that leading?
It's yes or no, isn't it?
Are you supposed to lead?
On cross, yes.
Okay. It's not leading.
Okay. It's true in his stories that people fabricate alibis?
You're making, sorry, I just
Okay.
can't sit still. So, remember I told you I was going to teach you something different on cross. The number one rule, short questions. Short questions. And questions is a misnomer. It's a statement. And what all this witness is going to do is say yes or no. That's all I want.
Okay.
You have your plan. You have your outline planned out, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Fair. Make your statement.
Okay.
What's your goal?
I just want to show that Joe has the ability to like make a plot and fabricate an outline, and I think his writing demonstrates that he has this ability.
Okay. So you've listened to the direct. Your goal is what you planned your goal to be, but don't you think this witness is biased?
Yes.
Okay. So I would mention that to start with.
Okay.
You go.
Now, you say that your relationship with Joe, for and first merce, was that of renter, correct?
Okay, too long.
Okay.
Friends with Joe.
Now, you're friends with Joe.
I'd like to think our relationship's grown that far, yes.
Okay. And you would do
I
anything.
didn't say and.
You would do anything you could to help him.
I wouldn't break my moral code for him, but within my moral code, I would do what I needed to do to make sure that to make sure he stayed afloat.
And he would do anything he could to help you.
You know, I haven't really seen that. He always pays me back on time, but the most he's ever really done for me is that he's read me his stories.
That hasn't been the case with all your renters, has it?
Oh no, Joe's probably one of the best renters I've had.
So, if Joe were to be convicted, you would have problems finding a renter not too long.
You're in trouble. The answer is going to be he can rent it like that,
Okay.
right?
Well, that and the fact is Joe really wasn't living with me, and if he gets back with his wife before, like I want him to, he wouldn't be living with me in the first place.
So
So that's one question too many.
well, you have to know that answer before you ask it, right? Cross-examination, number one rule, one of the number one rules. Know the answer before you ask it. Okay.
Okay, I'd like to talk about the evening of September 10th.
Okay.
Now, earlier you testified that Joe left his house around 7:15.
That's correct, yes. He was leaving the boarding house.
Okay, and then you later testified that he got home between 9:40 and 9:50.
No, I'm not doing that. He later testified?
Okay,
Just make your statement.
okay, so Joe then got home around 9:40.
Stop.
Okay,
Yeah, as I said earlier on, he got home about 9:40, between 9:40 and 9:55.
when he got home, you heard a tire screech, correct?
No, I didn't say correct.
Scope?
Okay.
Can I do that? I
Statement.
didn't bring that up.
Scope?
When Joe got home, you heard a tire
We have
screech.
open cross?
She hadn't
State
decided
law?
yet.
I don't know, we haven't
said it yet.
That's why I said
I'm gonna open it right now.
Oh, it's open.
It's open. It may be closed.
When Joe got home, you heard tire screeches.
All right, that's two questions. Here, let me show you. Joe got home.
Joe got home, 9:40, 9:55.
And there were tire screeches.
Around that same time, yes.
Okay. And then,
Okay. Short.
and
Get into the rhythm.
he was in a hurry.
Train the puppy. There's your puppy. Train him.
He was in a hurry.
to catch that wonderful show he listens to at 10 o'clock.
And then you see him next at 10:30.
Yeah, sounds about right.
There's a fire escape in Joe's room.
You know, if I do recall, there might be some, not in his room, but there might be some steps to make sure he's able to get out safe in case there's a fire outside of his building, yeah.
And that door locks from, the window locks from the inside.
Gee, you know, I'm not quite sure. I would assume so to keep people from breaking in.
Oh, good, good. There's the bait. You got a big piece of meat right there. Go get it. What are you going to do? Respond to what he said. I'll help you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me get this straight. You own this boarding house.
I do.
You're concerned about the safety of your tenants.
I am.
You check the fire escapes.
Checked like the actual stairs or the. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I made sure before when I bought the.
You're
property.
telling the jury today you don't know where the fire escape is?
I don't know where the fire escape is.
Sure you do.
And it's
Right outside Joe's room.
It's right, one of them, right outside, right.
Yeah. And you can't hear people when they use that fire escape.
Well, it's metal. I probably could if they were clangering down it.
Can I show the witness his deposition?
Yeah, except you don't know how to do that yet. That's in 2 weeks.
Okay.
We're gonna act like you did a great impeachment.
Okay. So now that your memory has been refreshed.
No,
Oh,
we're
no.
not refreshing his memory.
Okay.
Just go on to the next topic.
Okay. Now, later, you heard 2 sets of tire screeches.
Yeah, probably right around the time that the police arrived.
And that, but prior to Joe getting the aspirin.
Between 10 and when the police arrived, yeah, around that time. I mean, it was in between. It could have been after the. It was in between 10 o'clock when he showed up for the show and when the police arrived, and so there was a good 15 minutes that would have been after him coming down to get the aspirin.
Okay. I'd like this marked as plaintiff's exhibit,
What are you looking at her
or
for?
prosecution's exhibit 1.
Yes. What did you say?
I would like this marked as prosecution's exhibit 1.
For identification
Oh,
purposes?
for identification purposes. Permission to show opposing counsel?
Permission granted. Any objection?
Relevance?
What's the relevance of this?
The relevance is the state intends to show the proximity between Joe Mitchell's house and the Thompson's residence to show that in the allotted time he could have went there and back.
But what's the relevance to your case? That's to your case in chief, and you want to get that in through this witness?
Yes, well, I intend to lay the foundation that she knows this area well.
What is it of, counselor?
Oh, this is a map showing both the Fillmore residence and the Thompson residence.
That's not where Miss Porter lives, correct?
I understand that she lives at 800 Fillmore along with Joe,
Okay.
and it has both the Fillmore residence and the Thompson
And
residence.
the Thompson residence.
Yes.
We'll see if you can establish that she
Okay.
is familiar with it.
Permission to approach the witness.
Permission granted.
Now, do you recognize this map?
I don't recognize this map. This map's all skewed. It's got the distance of 4 blocks the same as is longer than the distance of 3 miles.
But it does state the distance.
It states a distance. I don't know if that's the right distance.
Are you?
You ever heard of the O.J. Simpson trial?
Yes.
What did the prosecution do to really screw it up?
Made him try on that glove.
You don't let the other side mess with your exhibits. Introduce it through your own witness,
Okay.
because that glove's never going to fit. Now, what you could do is introduce it
Just go ahead and introduce it and
and
then
then leave it
lay the
alone.
foundation
Let
later.
let your witness take it from
Okay.
there.
What did we say last week? You don't always have to have testimony about every exhibit every time you enter it.
Okay.
Wrap it up.
Okay. Now, you stated that Joe never drank.
Hardly ever, and I don't think he ever touched liquor.
Well, did you know on the night of the murder that he had had 4 beers at the Dollar City Tavern?
Now, what possible answers do you have? Either yes or no, right? How's that going to help you?
The jury gets to hear it.
They're going to hear it from Joe. I mean, you don't know Joe's going to testify,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't go there.
No.
Or you could say, would it surprise you to know?
Would it surprise you to know that Joe had 4 beers that evening?
It would from our original relationship, but he's been married and out of my house for a while before he's been just recent stint back in. So what he and his mother-in-law, whatever relationship he and his mother-in-law might have caused, I don't know.
He struck you as bitter during this time.
During what time?
During the time of the divorce, and
Not bitter to me. It struck it more as if he was just desperate to get back with his loving wife.
he would do anything to do that.
By getting down on his hands and knees and begging for, yes.
No further questions.
So a good way to conclude that witness is with the fire escape.
Okay.
Now, did you introduce your exhibit?
I did introduce my exhibit.
Oh, you did?
Yep. Introduce. I couldn't lay the foundation.
Opposing counsel.
I showed you.
I interrupted you, so I'm not counting it against you. But after you've authenticated it and laid the foundation, you still have to go back and ask to have it received in evidence, right?
Right, I just didn't think I'd laid the proper foundation, so I didn't think I could do it yet.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. How did you do?
Oh.
I know I gave you a hard time.
Hey, Gregory,